Hi, today we are discussing about transmissions. In the last class, we created a mapping. In that mapping, and we imported source and targets. So directly we loaded the data from source to target. So after the basic mapping, so now I'm going to explain the transmissions we are using to apply the logics. For example, in the same mapping, this is direct load. Just we took EMP source and EMP target. Directly we are passing the data from source to target. So there is no filter conditions. We are not applied any calculations or anything here. Okay. So now I just want to filter department 20 details into the target. So I want to apply a filter condition here. Okay. So first the mapping is same, importing the source, importing the target, creation of the mapping, everything is same like last class. Now we are creating a transmission here. So in the menu we have transmission tab, click on that, click on create. Here we have lot of transmissions: source qualifier, update strategy, expression, store procedure. So lot of transmissions we have. So based on the requirement, we have to select a transmission to apply that logics. Now I want to filter some data from source to target. So now I am selecting a filter transmission to filter the data. Select this. So here we have naming conventions. In any project, the first 3 letters of the transmission in capital. Fill underscore the purpose of the transmission. Here we are filtering department number 20 details. Then click on create. Done. So now we created a transmission. We have to place the transmission in the mapping first. So when you are dragging your source, automatically it will create a source qualifier transmission. By default it will come. So using source qualifier only, we can pass the data into the next level, into the target or into any other transmission. So now I'm removing these physical pipelines. These physical pipelines we use to load the data from source qualifier to target. But now I want to apply a filter condition to filter department 20 details. So after source qualifier, just place this filter transmission, drag and drop all columns from source qualifier to filter. Then from filter to target. So here now we are passing the values from source qualifier to filter, from filter to target. So here we are applying the condition, we are creating the condition to filter department number 20 details. So edit this filter transmission, go to ports. So here you have input and output ports. These are the by default ports. We cannot enable or disable anything here. So by default filter contain input and output ports. In properties you have filter condition. So filter condition is not true. True nothing but it will pass all the records from source qualifier to target in this mapping. So each and every record will pass into the target. So we have to change that condition based on our requirement. So edit this filter. So here go to ports. So these are the columns we have in filter transmission. So ports nothing but columns here. So now I'm filtering department number 20 details. Select this department number equal to 20. Click on validate. This expression syntax is correct. Click on OK. Again OK. So filter condition here department number equal to 20. If you want to add any other conditions using set operators like and, or, not, less than, greater than, so we can use other operators also to add another conditions like department number 20 and salary greater than 10,000. So like that we can add other conditions also using set operators. So now just we created one condition, that is department number equal to 20. Okay. So tracing level nothing but in the session level we will get session log after execution of the mapping. So in the session log, if you want to take the complete details of the filter, the tracing level will help. So here we have different options like terse and normal, verbose initialization and verbose data. If you want to take each record by record column level information, just change into verbose data. So by default this tracing level is normal. So based on your requirement you have to change into another options to get in detail information of the records, which records pass through this transmission. So but by default we have to mention normal. So we created condition and we are not changed anything in the tracing level. Click on apply. Okay. So now our mapping is ready. So validate this and save this. This mapping is valid and we saved in the repository database. I'm repeating the steps. First, we have to take the source and target. Then we have to create the transmission based on our requirement. We have to choose the transmission related. So now we are filtering the 20 department details into the target. So that's why we created one filter transmission here. So filter by default, it contains input and output ports. In properties, we have filter condition. The filter condition by default it is true nothing but it will pass all the columns from all the records from source to target. So we applied some conditions. So based on the condition and which record satisfied by those conditions, then it will pass the records into the target. Click on OK. So already we saved everything. We changed something here, means we added the filter. So we have to refresh the session because mapping contains some changes. If you change anything in the mapping, you have to refresh the session. Then only these changes will reflect there. First connect to the workflow. Okay. Go to task developer, right click, refresh mapping. So here we can check. This is the source Scott user. Target also we created in the Scott user. And this is the filter transmission. Here we have the condition. Department number 20. Okay, so if you have any changes in the mapping, you will get this icon, triangle shape, yellow color icon. Validate and save this. save the workflow also. Okay, so here before loading this data, already we have the records in the target, just I'm truncating the target before loading. Okay, truncate option I enabled in the target session level. So right click, start task you can select, or you can go with the workflow, start workflow also, both are same. So now automatically the monitor window will open, so we can see the statistics from the source and target, how many records reflected, how many records inserted into the target. So it's running. So only 20 department details we are filtering. So out of 14 we got only 5 records, those 5 records related to 20 department details. So we can see the data from designer and from database also. Preview data. So connect to the Scott user. And this is Tiger. Okay, 5 records we got, all are 20 department details. Okay. So filter is a active and connected type of transmission. So active means the source record count and target record count will not match. That is one point. Okay. So it is a connector. So connected means it connected with the physical pipelines. Okay. So first I'll create one more mapping with the expression transmission, that is passive and connected type of transmission. After that I will explain what is the difference between active and passive type of transmissions. Okay. Active and passive type of transmissions. So this is the filter we created with department number 20 filter condition. So next transmission is expression. So I am creating one more target here. Right click, clear this target, go to source, drag and drop the same source into here in the target designer. I'm changing this name EMP underscore bonus. Here I am adding one more column, that is bonus. Bonus is a number. Okay. Generate this table in the database because we created here. Connect to the database. Now also I am connecting to the Scott Tiger. Okay, table creator. I'm checking whether the table is created or not in the database. So connect to the Scott Tiger. Select start from tab. Okay, EMP underscore bonus we have. It's created. So then go to mapping designer, create a new mapping here. So here we have naming conventions, right? M means it's an indicator of mapping. It is a expression mapping. So drag and drop source and target first. So in between we have to create one transmission, that is expression. Same process. Go to transmission, create expression transmission. So first 3 letters of the transmission, then the description. Okay, so this is passive and connected type of transmission. So here the difference is compared to active and passive. So the required columns we can take into the expression, like we need salary and commission. The remaining we can bypass from the source qualifier to target. Select all, drag and drop from here to target. So bonus we are creating an expression. Okay, so first you have to mention in for input columns I or IN or anything based on the project requirement. They have to mention the naming convention. In some projects they'll use like a IN, small I, capital I. So based on the project they will decide the term what are the naming conventions need to follow. Okay, only these are the two input ports. So now we are creating a new port to get the bonus. Add one more column. So we created, right? This is only output. There is no input for this column. O underscore bonus. This is also integer. There is no input for this column. Just uncheck input. Salary and commission we are using in expression for input. So that's why I disable this. I uncheck this output ports. So O underscore bonus, we created that bonus column. There is no input for this column because user created this user defined column. Only output. So here you have to write the condition. So here you have all functions like character, conversion, date, encoding. So lot of functions we have. So all functions we have here. So from here I'm checking. So which employee commission is null, I'm giving bonus to that employee. So if of is null of commission, then pass salary plus. If commission is null, I am giving the entire salary bonus. Otherwise, not required. Or if you want to add anything like salary plus 200 or normal salary. So I'm repeating the condition. If commission is null, just add salary plus 200 to the bonus, or just pass the salary as bonus to the employee. So like this we can create any conditions, like you can use decode, you can use ltrim, outrim functions, you can use case functions. So here we can use other functions also, conversion. So lot of functions we have, we can use here. Character, conversion, date. So based on the requirement you have to select the related functions. So validate this. It's a valid condition. Apply and OK. So bonus to the target. So now this is passive and connected type of transmission. Here we will get all the records. Okay. So here we will get all the records because just we added a new column in the target table. We are not filtering any data. Okay. So that's why we'll get all the records with the bonus column. So what are the inputs we have from the source qualifier? Means from the source, the same record count we'll get in the output. That is one point to identify the passive type of transmission. And the required columns we can pass to the passive transmission. The remaining columns we can bypass to the target. Okay, these are the 2 points to identify the passive and active type of transmissions. So go to mapping, validate this. It's a valid mapping. Go to repository and save it. So it's saved. So we have to create a new session and new workflow. So in previous class, we created the session in the task developer. So which sessions we are creating here, those are the reusable sessions. So we can create the sessions in workflow designer also, those are non-reusable sessions. So I'll show the difference. First I'm creating a new workflow here. So naming conventions need to follow. That is very, very important. Okay. Then create a session here. Here also we have naming conventions. Great. So now we are creating this session on expression mapping. Done. Link to the session. And here see, make reusable. So these are non-reusable session. If you want to make reusable, just enable this. But we cannot revert back if you enable once. Go to mapping. Here change the connection. This is Scott connection and this is also Scott. Change bulk to normal because bulk node will not accept target contain the primary key. Apply and OK. So validate. So here see the icon. This is the non-reusable session. But this session is reusable. So here we have green color icon for reusable sessions. This is non-reusable sessions. That's why this is without green color icon we have. So clear from, delete from workflow. Okay. So go workflow, validate and save. So here total records will get. Now I'm executing this workflow. So successfully completed this session execution. 14 out of 14 records we got here. Go to designer, preview data, connect to the database here. So total records are 14 records. So this is the bonus. So if commission is null, we are adding salary plus 200. The bonus is 1000 here. If commission is not null, so we are passing the total salary into the bonus 1600. So here it is null. It's added 200 to the salary. Here it's null. Okay. So like this, we are adding salary plus commission based on these two columns. We are adding bonus to the column. Okay. So in passive, we can bypass the columns and we will get the record count same. But in active, we cannot bypass the columns. See. So in the down, you have one warning like concatenation disallowed on transmission. Active transmission we have. The both source qualifier also active and filter is also active. Okay, so we cannot bypass the columns when we are using active type of transmissions. And we will get the record count difference when you are using active type of transmissions. So based on these 2 points, we can identify which one is active and which one is passive. So when you are working in real time, you will get the complete idea. So what are the differences we'll get when you are using active and passive, at what time we can use active and passive type of transmissions. Okay, so this is the transmission. Like this we have lot of transmissions, so based on the requirement we have to choose that related transmission and we can add the conditions there. Okay, in the next class we can discuss other some more transmissions. Thank you.